Chapter 23 begins on Coruscant with Elia Kane contacting Moff Gideon. She informs him of the Mandalorians who helped defeat the pirates on Navarro, and Gideon says that the Mandalorians must finally be eradicated for the Empire's grand plans to come to fruition. After ending the transmission, he then walks past a series of what seems to be stormtroopers or jet troopers that have modified armor, and he then enters a meeting room of sorts. Several holograms of Imperial representatives pop up, and they discuss the Empire's future plans, with one of the Imperials mentioning a plan regarding Grand Admiral Thrawn being the head of the Empire while they execute Project Necromancer, which I assume refers to the rebuilding of the Empire and perhaps the cloning experiments to resurrect Emperor Palpatine. Now, two things. First, Moff Gideon continues urging the rest of them that they must eliminate all of the Mandalorians once and for all, and stop them from reclaiming Mandalore. Second, Gideon seems to doubt that Thrawn has returned, and it seems as though he wants to control the Empire's remnants. I think this will lead to Thrawn and Gideon fighting over control, with Thrawn ultimately being the victor once he does return, which will either be in next week's finale or in the Ahsoka series, which we know for certain he will be in. The scene transitions to Navarro, and we witness the return of Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, and Grogu, along with the arrival of Bo's Mandalorian fleet. The two Mandalorian clans meet up and somewhat hesitantly agree to team up and retake Mandalore as one clan. Several volunteers from both sides agree to land on Mandalore's surface to ensure safety. This strike force includes Lady Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, Grogu, who's now in control of IG-11, now IG-12, and uses it as a mech of sorts, Paz Vizsla, Woves, Koska Reeves, and the Armorer, along with a few more. There's also a very comedic scene when Grogu first receives IG-12, and he spams the no button when Din tells him to exit the IG unit. The droid/mech had a yes and no button installed by the Anzellans. It's not quite as amusing until you hear it for yourself. Anyhow, they soon arrive on the planet of Mandalore, and once on the surface, they discover a vehicle of sorts that resembles a wooden ship that you would see in the water on Earth, but on land, and they unearth Mandalorian survivors who stayed on the planet even after the Purge. After they all board the boat, the Armorer takes one of the injured Mandalorians back to the frigate in orbit, and they come across a giant creature breaking through the surface from below. This could be the Mythosaur, but it doesn't really look like it. However, I could be wrong, but if any of you know for sure, please enlighten me in the comments. There's also another scene while they're still on the boat, where Paz Vizsla and Woves get into an argument over a board game, and they begin fighting until Grogu, in the IG-12 mech, breaks them apart, which I really liked. Din and Bo even comment on this, with Bo asking where he learned to do that from, and Din responding by saying that he did not teach that to him, which I think is a reference to the Peacekeeper-esque side of Grogu that he developed, or rather redeveloped, while training under Luke Skywalker. They eventually arrive underground, but they are ambushed by the modified jet troopers I mentioned earlier, and after pursuing the troopers forward, they soon find themselves trapped in an Imperial facility below Mandalore's surface between two blast doors. It is here where Moff Gideon lands in front of them, in front of the glass of one of the blast doors. He reveals that he has possession of a newly developed set of Death Trooper armor infused with Beskar, along with the new Beskar Mandalorian-esque helmet with horns, similar to the Mandalorian helmets we see on Death Watch in the Clone Wars. Gideon orders TIE interceptors and bombers to attack the rest of the Mandalorian fleet in orbit and take them by surprise. In addition, Din is apprehended and taken to a debriefing room, but this gives Bo-Katan enough time to use the Darksaber in order to cut a hole in the other side, in the other blast door, for them to escape before they are killed. However, Paz Vizsla stays behind to buy them some time and takes down the rest of the jet troopers. Now, this part doesn't really make much sense because he definitely had enough time to quickly escape at this point, but he seems to just wait there until we see the arrival of 3 Praetorian guards. 3 guards that Moff Gideon asked for at the start of the episode. Paz has one final showdown with the Praetorian guards, and he is eventually overwhelmed by the numbers and sheer skill of the elite Imperial soldiers, being killed after all 3 guards stab their blades into him. The episode ends there, and I think we'll continue on from the attack in orbit in next week's finale. I think we'll also see Din rescued next episode, much like Grogu was last season, with perhaps many surprises, including possible Jedi appearances, and maybe, just maybe, the long-awaited live-action reveal of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Regardless, I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day. See ya.